Yo, 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 what is up? We are back. This is No Border Sports, and we got Big Mac Sports with us today. What's up, Big Mac?
What's going on?
I
How's
just want to
everything?
let anybody know who might be watching in the future. Check in the description for the chapters, and you can kind of get through the video a little bit more, figure out what you want to talk about. What's up, Big Mac? How you doing?
Well, it's busy day today, so started late because my key didn't work to get into the hotel, but it works and had to get fiberglass all over off of me. So yeah. Now we could talk some 49ers.
Right? Were you able to listen to the John Lynch presser at all?
I did. I listened to that and I listened to a lot of the other stuff too. Let's see. I think it was I forget his name. The
Jake
lineman.
Brandel?
Yeah, Brendo.
Yep.
Yeah, and I listened to some of what's our defensive lineman guy Armstead, some of the stuff that he talked about. Yeah, so I got to catch that while I was working. So
Want to give a shout out to Platform 246. He was in before the get, showing
platform.
up, showing out. We got Damian Lee in the building. He calls me Palpatine. We up here. We got John Jay in the house for 49ers Ultimate Report. If you don't know about John Jay, go check him out. He puts out content. Same thing with Platform 246. So make sure you go and check both those channels out.
Yep.
We got Steve-O in the house, or allegedly. Don't want to get
Allegedly,
sued.
Steve-O.
And we got David, aka the Auntie Slayer McNiner, in the building. What is good, family?
Yep.
So they're all saying what's up, exchanging pleasantries. Let's get into some topics. Essentially, this we're going hard on. I know it says draft talk, but we're going hard on John Lynch pressers right now. John Lynch addressed the 49ers trying to shop Trey. Without speaking yet on, him talking to Trey and whatnot, which we'll get into later. What are your thoughts about what he said about the, shopping Trey and kind of, I guess you could say the offers that he's also gotten?
Yeah, I don't put a whole lot of weight behind what he said, because if there was a good deal that or a good offer that he received, he's going to be sitting there with Kyle, and they're going to talk about it. So I don't put a whole lot of weight to it. Just like some of the well, he addressed it, right. He said that Trey he's getting healthy. He wasn't healthy last year, and he's ready to compete this year. So I take those couple words that he said there, and I take that as uh, whatever team called and kind of like fill out to see what the 49ers would do, that there wasn't a whole lot of credence in that. So I don't take that, because I see Trey Lance as one of the I think he's going to be a really good quarterback, especially this year. He's going to show what he's got, and I don't want him to go to another team. I've said it before, and I've said it many times, that we have two good quarterbacks, two starting quarterbacks, and Brock Purdy still, even with his waving and everything at the Giants game, uh, that's not that's just waving at fans. It's not a freaking defensive end coming at you and striking at your arm. So, and even he said it, until he's really healthy and ready to go, I I think the job is going to be Trey Lance's job, unless for some reason that who did we get? What's that guy's name from the
Sam Darnold?
Carolina Panthers? I'm just kidding. Yeah, Darnold. That darn guy, turnover machine. Unless he comes in and beats Trey Lance out, I don't think that anything's going to happen. Now, um, the 49ers in the past, John Lynch and Kyle, they've known to trade people. Just like he even addressed that today. He said it with what happened with what's our guy that DeForest Buckner, right? What happened with him, that he traded him, but man, they did not. That trade was one probably because they couldn't. He says they couldn't afford both, or like how he was talking today, that he couldn't afford Trent Williams or McGlinchey. But it's the same thing. Like right now, we can afford these two quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. So unless somebody came up and said, "Hey, we got like all these draft picks that we're willing to give you to get Trey Lance," but where does that leave the San Francisco 49ers? We don't know what Sam Darnold is going to do. We don't know if he's going to be as better than what he showed in Carolina for 6 games. But we just got to see what Trey Lance has in store, because I really believe that he's going to be good.
Okay. Let's see. Next question we got here is John Lynch addressed the drafting a quarterback talk. It seemed like he said that, some of the rumors out there aren't true, but some, of who they talk to and who they have interest in are true. What was your thought on this? It seems like everybody's talking about DTR, and I think he was trying to quash that. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, with DTR, he's a small guy. He played at Bishop Gorman. So I'm in southern Utah, but we've been down there with a lot of the poly athletes to play against when they do all their camps and stuff. And he's a really small kid. He's a good baller. He's an athlete, and I'm just thinking that they're going to go after somebody that's not going to come into the league and get injured quite often. But all of our quarterbacks get injured. So, but if they pick up DTR, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, because they always pick a quarterback. Or if they don't do it in the draft, it's going to be an undrafted free agent. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get a quarterback in a draft. But one thing that John Lynch said was, if they see somebody that they like, they're not opposed to going and getting them in those rounds, in the earlier rounds, like second round. I see them trading up to get the second round, getting somebody in the second round. I really do. Or they can sit and be just like what he said. They didn't know that Drake Jackson was going to be available to them in the second round, and that's why they didn't move. And there was 2 guys. They picked Drake Jackson. So they are going to get a quarterback. Just we don't know where we're at in the order of the draft that we draft in. But I would love for them to do just as he said, that they want to get draft picks and guys that will come in and be an immediate impact. And if they do that, why not trade some of your picks and only get like three players? I don't know. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, we'll get into that later with the questions, because he spoke on that already.
Yeah.
So let's discuss. Stay on the path here. Rumors about Trey Lance asking for a trade. He said that Trey Lance hadn't. I believe that Trey Lance hadn't. I don't think that he would do something like that. What's your thoughts on the situation?
I don't think it's true. I mean, why would Trey Lance go and he goes on the show, say the right things, that he's ready to compete? If it's Brock Purdy, he's ready to compete against Brock Purdy, and he's ready to be a longtime 49er. So I don't believe that for a second.
All right. Let's go to John Lynch. He fielded a question about taking offers on Brandon Aiyuk, and he shot that down pretty quickly. without getting too much into what he said, what was your thoughts about how he explained, oh yeah, everybody's kind of, everybody's up for the trading block, even, us and John and Kyle, but yet Brandon Aiyuk got shot down immediately, faster than the talk of trading Kyle. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is exactly Brandon Aiyuk was our first 1,000-yard receiver. He's our best route receiver, and if he doesn't drops a lot of the balls that he dropped this year, if he didn't do that, he would have strongly be in contention for Pro Bowl. But I mean, why would you trade somebody like that? He's got 1,000 yards receiving. He can block and he can run routes. I mean, we do have all the other guys, but yeah, that I would shoot it down too. But also in the back of my mind, there's the what if type stuff. Because if they traded Brandon Aiyuk for a first round pick, why would you? I mean, we don't have the money right now to be paying a whole lot of people, and then Bosa's contract's coming up. So yeah, I believe John Lynch on that one, shooting it down. There's no way they're going to trade him.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so either. It seemed kind of nonsense. Let's speak about what he kind of went into next. He was talking about wanting to see Brandon Aiyuk on the team for possibly multiple more years. He didn't put it in stone that yes, Brandon, we're gonna get Brandon Ayuk's deal done. We're gonna get a deal done with him, but he left open we might be able to keep a Brandon Aiyuk after next year, whether it's moving on from somebody else, which I don't think so, or they try and figure out how to make magic happen, or they've got a plan already. They might already have a plan in place, how money is going to get allotted. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think that, yeah, just like you say, I think they have a plan in place for that to happen. I would love to see Brandon Aiyuk stay here and play more years alongside Debo. But if they're going to keep him, I don't know. Maybe they'll get rid of two guys that, if Trey Lance becomes the quarterback, they might be looking to shop two guys, and it's two guys that everybody loves. I love them on the team. Is George Kittle and Juszczyk. So that's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts on if Trey Lance become the quarterback. But I don't know. Trey Lance might become the quarterback, and those guys will love him as being the quarterback, just as much as they loved playing with Brock Purdy and Garoppolo. But I think they're going to find out that Trey Lance's deep ball is going to favor them a lot more. So I think I would love for Brandon Aiyuk to stay for years to come. I would love that to happen.
Me too. Me too. So before Mike Brandel got up, somebody asked a question about possible competition at right guard with John Feliciano and Burford. Now, he didn't allude to if there will be one. He said, I think John would appreciate that, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, or that he would be interested in that, I think was the words, which isn't that why you're on the team? Isn't that why you're here? But what's your thoughts on that?
Well, players are going to compete and they want to play. So if it's just like back when I used to play, I wasn't the first week starter. So I asked my coach, I said, hey, what do I need to do to get that position? He's like, well, you can challenge for it, or you can show us what you got in practice, but you can challenge for that spot. So hey, that's what athletes do. they're going to challenge one another, and the best person will be the one that starts. So if I was John Feliciano, I would challenge for it if that's the spot I want to get and to start. So, and Brendo should welcome that. He should welcome that from whether we get a right guard and that's coming, but I challenge for it. Why not?
Okay. Um, there was also there was well, Brendel is the center, so Burford, I'm guessing you were speaking of.
Oh, okay. So he's talking about Burford.
Yeah, he's
Still,
talking about.
whichever side they're on. If you're this is my advice for those young men coming out of college that's getting drafted.
Man.
Work your butt off and go challenge for the position. But also they gotta learn the playbook. So they gotta be a student and understand all the playbook and all the different nuances of the playbook, and then go out and challenge for that spot. So it just makes for a better team, better competition. And if they don't win, they can ask the question, what do I need to get to do better? So that way I can be ready and available when it's my turn if somebody gets hurt. Not that we wish that on anybody, but that's what that's what athletes should do. They come into the league and make sure you stay in there. But we had a lot of those guys that got undrafted, and they balled out, and they got their playing time. And some of the guys that got drafted earlier in the early rounds in the draft, they're not on the team anymore because those undrafted guys came in, they're hungry, and they prove. So,
All right. Now we get back to the question. John Lynch talked about Nick Zakeji being able to flex out to the right tackle position, maybe, and also how they were happy with his off-season workout, like the oh, the weight room. The guy in charge of the weight room said that he's having a great year. What was your thoughts on that?
I missed that part. I didn't catch that on the video that I watched.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they
So,
said that he someone asked him if if anybody could flex out to the guard or anything like that, and I believe he said either someone asked us directly about Nick Zakeji or he offered it up, saying that that was one guy that they had always thought might be able to move out there. So who knows? We might have a competition at right tackle, left tackle, or right tackle, right guard. It seemed Brendel was very happy with Jason Poe's progress as far as what he brings to the table and in the room. Same thing with Nick. So it seems like we got some winners there. If only they could have thought about tackle a couple years early, we might be sitting in a better situation.
yeah, if only they did. Because there's a lot of tackles that are out there that when it comes to draft time, you just think of like your draft crush that you want on the team, and so a lot of times I don't even do these mock drafts and stuff like that because it's like pointless it's not. A lot of people love it; they love doing that, but to me, I don't like doing them um, because every single time I get disappointed that they don't pick the guys that I want them to pick. So I just wait to see who they get, and then I'm good with that. So, but going back to I forgot what your question was, Ryan.
It's at the bottom of the thing. It says Lynch talked
Oh,
about Zakeji
with
being
Zakel.
flexing
Yeah,
the offensive tackle.
with him flexing out, John Lynch made it apparent today that a lot of the guys that are in house right now, that they're doing all the things that they need to improve. And so, if he thinks that Nick Zakel is going to flex out to offensive tackle, they might see something there. So, And that's just with everybody that is there, the trainers and everybody that does off-season workouts. So probably John Lynch is getting good feedback from the guys that Nick Zakeji is working with, and he's like, yeah, I believe he can do it. I think he can flex out and become a tackle, but we'll that's something that we'll wait and see when it comes to like OTAs um, and then later on if they when preseason starts, we'll know we'll have a kind of a feeling of what where guys are going to end up at. So, but it's good they're competing, they're working out. It sounds like everybody's working their tail off because they might feel the magic this year, Ryan. This might be the year that Lombardi is going to be held up by the San Francisco 49ers. And I think that they can do that.
All right. With that, we'll get on to the next question. Now you alluded to this earlier, but Lynch, you were asking if I think they were going to move up. I don't, because Lynch said that he sees great players at 99, 101, 102, 157. And for us to move up, we're going to have to lose some of that capital. I see them moving up maybe from the 5th round and whatnot. Do you think when John Lynch said that kind of refers to maybe not moving up, unless somebody that was, they thought would go higher, start slipping to the point where they're like, we got to make a move on this guy. But it seems to me like they're set at just staying with all their picks in the 3rd round there.
And if they stay put and they get some guys that's going to come in right away, I mean, they've done way better at the back end of the draft than they have in the front end of the draft. So if they stay, they stay. But I think they're going to probably trade up to get one player. I don't know if that's going to be into the 2nd round or they'll trade some of those later picks to get into the 5th round. But I think they're going to do some kind of trade. That's just what I think. But good thing that this week is the draft week, and we'll know this week, right?
Right. So they actually, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm writing notes at the same time. They were talking about Frank Gore being a part of the draft process. And they kind of said that there was other people up in there, and they were kind of there to kind of get an idea of the college aspect, kind of get an idea so maybe they could apply it to the college level. Do you see Frank Gore somehow coming back in the front office of this team somehow? If he's in on the draft process and he's going to go maybe try his hand in college, is that something where he, runs around the college area for a little bit, the college circles for a little bit, and then bumps his way up and comes back home? What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I think he's pretty good coming up here. So one of my buddies that I know, he would coach for Utah on the offensive line. And I asked him, I said, so are you going to go back to coaching? He's like, hell no, not in college. It's freaking the worst. So I was like, why would it be the worst? Yeah, I asked him, I said, why would it be the worst? And he's like, man, it's just, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. But so Frank Gore,
he could be scouting people for college.
He could be.
That could be the thing that he's trying to do. That's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily coaching. I said front office, so that means, like management role, scouting, something like that, not actually coaching.
Yeah, but some of these guys that go out and they scout up first, they eventually end up being a position coach and then start coaching. So Frank Gore would be really good in the running back room. I mean, too bad he didn't stay the whole time, his whole career with the Niners, but you got to do what you got to do. That's best for you and your family. So, but yeah, if he sticks around and he becomes one of those talent evaluators in the front office. Hey, that's just better for us. That's just better for the 49ers.
Gotcha. All right. Now, um, John Lynch brought up the Brock Purdy's high fives, saying it. People were excited about that. To me, it was almost like, "Hey, Matt, I seen you, Matt Mayoko. There you go. Isn't that cool?" Um, it also seemed like when Matt asked the question in the beginning about Trey Lance, seemed like they might have knew that he was going to call on him first, and it seemed like Matt kind of worded the question to kind of make it easier for John Lynch to answer. What's your thoughts about that and how like he's already like bringing up the fact, oh, you see the high fives, Brock Purdy's high fives, oh, my man's coming back. What's your thoughts on that?
I think Brock Purdy was just giving everybody clickbait fuel. So, um, but because I saw it too, and I'm like, man, what if he high fived somebody too hard and his rehab got set back again? So, yeah, I think it was just to show some people that his rehab is going good, but just with the injuries like that, how bad it was, it's gonna be tough. It's one of those things like on Brock Purdy in my mind that it's going to be just a tough thing for him to fully come back 100% by the beginning of the year. I always said like it's going to be probably end of November somewhere in there.
Ooh.
But yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah, that it's tough. It's just a tough thing. Tough.
Okay. No, that you don't have to explain. It's just a feeling you got. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Let's go to. Oh, hold on. Go. Why aren't you starting? Okay, John Lynch explained what he thinks defines a 49er. What was it? It was speed. It was aggressive. Or he has to hit hard and aggressive.
Toughness.
Huh?
Toughness.
Yeah, the toughness, but also they don't need rocket scientists out there, but they need people who are football smart.
Hold on, real quick, Ryan.
Okay. Here we are. Oh, that's great. I'll just mute his mic for now. Let's see what's going on in the comments here. We got Beto in the house. What up, Beto? Nice to see you. Brock Purdy was enjoying the Giants game. People just need to stop. Okay, there you go, Beto. Tell him. Anyway, we were talking about what John Lynch thinks defines a 49er: toughness, speed. They weren't looking for rocket scientists, but they want football smart people, hard hitters. Is there anything else you think that you might think that defines a 49er that he might have left off?
Man, just somebody that comes in and he's with the program, like last year, what did we have? Omenahue got into some trouble and stuff like that. But yeah, I think every single thing that he said was good, and we just need guys that come in and understand that you're getting paid to play this game. So show every attribute that he said, and just understand that there's a goal that you need to set, and also need to set your bar high as a 49er, so that way you don't have off-field issues, and just be a good all-around player. So
okay. Let's see. So, John Lynch gave his thoughts on the Brock Purdy Yahoo article. Did you see that part?
I didn't see that part.
Somebody asked him about the timeline. And when they, when he said, Brock Purdy said, I I don't know if I'll be playing at all this year, right?
Yeah.
And John Lynch pretty much said, "Yeah, we heard that, but we're getting great news from Brock Purdy every day, this and that." And I think what he was just expressing was the fact that he's taking it day to day, and he doesn't know what will happen in 6 months. He doesn't know what will happen in a year. So he's just trying to tamper everybody's expectations and kind of just leave me alone. And I think that caused a whirlwind. But also, it seemed like he was misquoted in the article, which was funky. What was your thoughts on the article originally when it came out?
So I didn't even see the article, but I heard him talking about that timeline and everything. So in that article, what was he misquoted at?
They said
Saying,
that he might not play all year, and I think he said that he doesn't know when he'll play.
and Grant Cohn, I think, is the one that asked him that question, and
No, it was a Yahoo journalist. It was
no, I mean today,
maybe.
yeah, today Grant Cohn asked him about that, about what Brock Purdy said on the timeline. So, and then um, I guess that was a follow up to that Yahoo misquote that about him. But so it's kind of funny that he would say that, and Brock Purdy said it that he doesn't even know if he's going to be back this year to play, which what I have been saying on some of my rants and stuff on my channel is that Brock Purdy should just stay out a whole year and get better and just come back and compete for the starting job next year because he's going to get that opportunity next year. So that way he's physically stronger and he'll be mentally fit for the challenge next year because coming back too early and you get hurt again, that's going to play into your psyche. So if I was Brock Purdy, that's what I would do if I was hurt like that. But there's that competition that everybody wants to do, and a lot of people are probably going to feed him the come back early. So I stick with what some of the stuff that John Lynch says he's going to be ready for. What was it for preseason or training camp? We said that early, and then Kyle came back and said, I think the timeline is going to be like 6 to 8 months." And then Brock Purdy said he's going to be ready, and then he said it. He came back and said, "I might not even be playing this year." And so John is saying that they're getting some insights from all his doctors and everything, so that we don't have access to. So that's probably he's just saying that, or he's just trying to temper everybody's uh, on the subject that we don't know if he's going to be ready, but if he is, he'll be ready to compete for the job.
Um, who do you have anybody you think the 49ers will be drafting? Do you have any guys, any thoughts on the positions, anything like that? What do you think if you don't know? Oh, well, here, tell me if you
I
guys you
got
think they're going to go after.
Yeah, so way back after the 49ers NFC Championship loss, already picked out a couple of guys. One of them, I don't think he's going to be even in the area. This is who I like to have them draft is Siaki Ika from Baylor, the big 350-pound defensive tackle, young guy. Um, that was before Javon. They picked up Javon Hargrave. So, and then the other guy was the right tackle from BYU. Everybody has him on the list. Um, so yeah, that's the other guy. And then I had a linebacker from Oregon, just because I know him and I know what kind of player he would be, and he would be a fantastic player. Uh, he only ran like a 4.6 or 4.5 in his pro day, but that's Noah Sewell. So I was like, we got one of the Bosa brothers. We need one of the Sewell brothers to play for us for the 49ers. And
Gotcha.
then the quarterback that I like is just because I watched him a lot, Jaron Hall from BYU. But those are just my guys. Those are just the guys that I feel like they can come in and help the 49ers. But there's a plenty of guys. I have the tight end from Alabama, like him. I really like the tight end from Notre Dame, but he ain't gonna be there.
Are you all in on them drafting a tight end with like one of their top picks this year?
Depends on which tight end it is.
Okay.
So yeah, it just depends on which tight end.
Which
I'm fine
ones
with
don't you want?
the ones that cannot catch a damn ball.
Do you have a name on those?
I don't. I
Okay.
only looked into a couple of them and a couple of the
Okay.
guys that like that Cope some of the Cope and John Jay and them talked about it. Just listen to some of their stuff.
Wonderful.
CG got some of them.
So
Oh,
we've got only a couple minutes before we both got to get out here and do a show. How about you let everybody know where they can find you, just so you know, or let them know what you got going on. I could tell them where to find you. It's in the description. Go scroll down, and his link is in the description underneath the chapters.
Yep, it's at Big Mac Sports on Twitter and on YouTube. So those are the only ones, and then just my first and last name on. So I just stream to LinkedIn too. But yeah. Oh, and you know what's up, man, Randy? I was listening to you guys last week. I was gonna chime in at the tail end when you guys were all rapping and everything on. I think it was on Corey's channel.
I believe it might have been on mine.
Oh no, it was on your channel. Actually,
Yeah.
it was on your channel. Yeah, well, you guys were all rapping and stuff.
Hey,
So
if you want to come in Friday night, let me know. I'll shoot you a link.
yeah.
No, but do you have any shows coming up? We got a couple more minutes. I got to use the restroom. You got shows coming up you want to plug?
I'm probably gonna do one on Wednesday, right before the draft. Just some thoughts and stuff. So I just do like 30 minutes. So probably on Wednesday, and then I'll be down in Vegas this weekend.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Make sure to check him out on Wednesday. Got a quick show right before the draft. With that, I want to thank you for coming on, Big Mac. Really appreciate our time. We'll have to do this again sometime. Yeah, you have to come on Friday. We be all good with that.
If you guys are rapping, man, I'm just gonna bring in my A game.
There you go.
Better watch out.
I think that might be a new thing. But with that, we out.